We all may need to borrow money from time to time. In today's market, it's vital to find a lender who can give you the greatest number of options. Here at Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County, we can give you the credit options you deserve. You will receive one-on-one service from a helpful lender. Whether it's building your dream home or buying your first car, we'll work with you in every way we can. Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County offers the latest technology in the banking industry. We're putting common sense banking into practice every day. Come visit us soon and you'll see why Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County is the bank that service built.
Hello everybody, I'm Pilar Archila with Pure Gold, and I know my guest today doesn't need much introduction, Miss Willie Paulk. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great, I'm happy, and you're looking fabulous.
Thank you.
As always, she always looked nice.
You're too kind. Thank you.
Yes. Let me tell you, Willie, for a long time, I wanted to have this interview. And to be honest with you, even before you announced you were retiring.
Great.
Because we all know Miss Willie Paulk. We know Miss Willie Paulk as Chamber of Commerce. We know Miss Willie Paulk when we talk about Dublin or Lawrence County. But what about Willie Paulk, the friend, the person? So I'm going to start with that.
Okay.
First of all, where were you born?
I was born in Twiggs County, which is not too far from here.
No, it's not. I work in Jeffersonville.
That's the county seat. Well, see, I was born out in the county, so I can't even say I'm from Jeffersonville. But I was raised on a farm. I'm one of 7 children. There were 5 girls and 2 boys.
Oh, wow.
Grew up on a farm and grew up, in, of course, in that small county.
Yes.
But back when I was growing up, which was a few years ago, it was such a great, vibrant community. We had kaolin mines there. And,
wow.
you know, it was a small county, but it was flourishing pretty well. So I grew up with a small county, which was like family,
Yeah.
you know, where everybody watches out for everybody.
Yeah.
Loved school, loved every minute of school, was very active in clubs and
So
organizations.
school and everything, you did it in Twiggs County.
Played basketball
I heard
in
that you
Twiggs
play
County.
basketball.
I did.
And June Moore plays
That's right,
basketball
June
also
Moore
for
guarded me.
Dudley.
We realized that we were both about the same age when I first met her, which was 25 years ago.
Yeah, when
we
you
began-
first met her, you were about the same age.
Yes,
Still the same
yes.
nowadays?
She's older. She'll kill me. But when we first met, we started talking, and I said something about playing basketball, and she said, I did too.
That is so
As it
cool.
turned out, I was a forward and she was a guard. But what is so funny is we can't remember who won, but we both say we did.
Yeah, of course, of course. And now that I'm interviewing you, I'm
Right.
sure you won.
And then, of course, the second question most people ask me is Willie your real name?
Well, you see, that was
your question.
Yeah, because the first time I heard Chamber of Commerce, Willie Paulk, I was thinking it was a male. I'm sorry, but that's what I thought.
That's it. When I went to Middle Georgia College, there was a group of 5 guys that were at the registration table. So when I signed in, I saw the card that said first, middle, and last name. Well, I didn't go by my first name, which is Willie, but I went by my second name, which is Ophelia. So I signed in Ophelia Mercer. And one of the guys kept saying, you need to put your first name. And I said, I don't go by my first name, you know. Well, finally, I gave in. And when I wrote Willie, that was it.
Well, not too many people know this, but my first name is not Pilar.
What is it?
Maria.
Maria.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Maria Pilar. And when I moved to this country, I moved to Minnesota, and when they asked me exactly the same thing, and I did the same thing. I said, I don't go by my first name. I go by my middle name. No, you have to write your first name.
Exactly.
Well, my 6 years in Minneapolis, I was Maria. Everywhere, I was Maria. When I moved to Florida, well, you see, if you're in a room full of Hispanics and you go Maria, we all stand up. So when I moved to Florida, when people ask me, what is your first name? I said, my first name is Pilar.
Right.
So please don't, I mean,
Well,
it's
you know
not.
how I felt when
Yeah,
I kept saying,
right.
I don't go by my first name.
Exactly.
We
I know
almost
exactly.
had an argument.
Now, I love Maria, but actually I loved, everything together, Maria del Pilar. But if you're going to call me, well, I'd rather to be called Pilar. So that's how I end up being
Well,
just
and
Pilar
that's how I ended up being Willie Paulk.
instead of Ophelia.
Exactly. And like you say, I think it was to my advantage to have Willie, because as I say, on my card, I just put Willie Paulk. I didn't put Miss, Mrs., or anything.
Right,
So when you're given a card to a receptionist,
right.
she passes it on to the boss and just simply says, Willie is here to see you.
Exactly.
When you walk in, they say, you're Willie?
What are you?
So that creates a little conversation.
Yeah, that's cool. That's neat. You grew up and where did you go to school?
Went to Middle Georgia for
Middle
1
Georgia.
year and was so confident that I could make it in the real world because I went for secretarial science, which was a 1-year course. I was so excited. I wanted to go to work immediately. I'd always wanted to be on my own and
Oh, yeah.
make money, and
Yeah.
so I did. I left and went to Atlanta and lived there 2 years and worked for the Atlanta Gas Light Company.
Oh,
Then guess what?
I want to
They
know.
didn't like Willie. They could hardly pronounce Ophelia correctly. They nicknamed me Phoebe.
Oh,
So I was known as Phoebe with the Atlanta Gas Light Company.
oh, wow.
So I have 3 names.
You have 3 names. I have a friend that she has a hard time spelling Pilar. So when I look at her phone to see how she wrote Phyllis. So I'm not only Pilar, my dear friend calls me Phyllis.
So you like me. You answer to most anything.
Yes, yes, and I love it. I don't mind.
Oh, I don't either.
I don't mind.
Creates just more conversation.
Oh, yeah, and they remember you. Oh, you're the person with the weird name,
That's
you know?
right.
They remember you.
When my children were born, I said I wanted them to have sweet, simple names.
Yes.
And they do. Steve and Sandy.
Oh, yeah.
So they won't be mixed up.
Exactly. Easy to pronounce, easy to
And
spell. Well, you mentioned your children. Where did you get married?
Got married my sweetheart from Middle Georgia.
Uh-huh.
Got married in Twiggs County. We moved to Thomasville, Georgia,
Uh-huh.
which was not too far from the town that we ended up living in for 17 years in Cairo.
Yes.
Which is in
I know
southwest
some people
Georgia.
from Cairo.
That's where our children were born, Steve and Sandy. And then we divorced maybe 6, 7 years after that. And I went to work at the Cairo Grady County Chamber of Commerce. I
Ah.
had worked for 2 attorneys prior to that. Had also worked for the school board as a secretary. And the job came open at the chamber. And my husband was a director on the chamber board, and I knew that all the exciting things that happened in the community came through the chamber.
Exactly.
And that's where I wanted to be.
Yes.
So the lady who was there retired, and they brought in a young man from the Macon chamber, and he was looking for a secretary. So I applied, and I got the job.
Uh-huh.
So we made
So
a great
that's your
team.
connection. That's the way your connection with the chamber started.
That's right. It began in 1976 at Cairo, Grady County.
Oh.
2 years after we had worked together, he decided to go back to college to get his master's. And I was devastated because we had made such a good team.
Exactly.
And loved what I was doing. And I said, John, who are we going to get to replace you? And he said, I'm looking at her.
Oh.
Well, I just cried. Because
Oh.
I thought, oh my gosh, I never would have thought of me being the boss.
Oh, my goodness.
A month later, he went and talked to all the board members, and a month later, I was given the title of Executive Vice President. That's what they used to call us.
Right.
Of the chamber. And
What
so,
an honor that he...
It was.
Well, you see, you probably proved to him that you were capable of doing
Well,
that.
as he said, you know the community better than I do. You've
Exactly.
lived here longer, you know all the people. And he said, I know your love for people and your desire to make a community better. He said, I'm pulling for you.
That is
So,
just so wonderful.
Mhm.
And you didn't even have to think twice. You
No.
wanted it. I mean, it was something that you
Well,
wanted.
It was, but I was hesitant because I was divorced. I was a female.
With two children?
With two children.
Yes.
And this was back in 1976. That's
Right.
been quite a few years ago.
Yes.
But since then, there have been more females in this role than has ever been, and it just worked out great for me. I lived
Yes.
in Cairo and worked there for about 4 years, and then remarried and moved to Adel, Georgia.
Uh-huh.
And
I know
was
where
there 10
Adel is.
years, 10 years, and then I got a phone call.
I want to hear this. This is so interesting.
I got a phone call from W.L. Wilkes, who
Uh-huh.
was the chamber director here. He and I had met in Atlanta. We worked on several state projects together. He called me. I was going out the door, literally going out the door for a meeting. And he said, hi, Willie, this is W.L. Wilkes. And I said, well, hello, W.L., how are you? Thought it was just a social call.
Right.
He said, I have something to ask you. And I said, well, can I call you back? Because I'm on my way to a meeting. He said, give me 3 minutes. I said, okay, what is it? He said, I want you to apply for my job. And I said, oh, W.L., I didn't know you were retiring. He said, yes. He says, you know, I'm retired from George Powell.
Yes.
And he said, I'm retired
Ah.
from the chamber. And he said, I'm retired. And he
Uh-huh.
said, we need a young, vibrant person here, a professional. I said, you're very kind. I said, you know, I love Adele. We've got a lot of great things going on, and thank you for thinking of me. He said, Willie, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why
I'm
you
not
should
going to take a
apply."
no.
And I said, 3 reasons. I said, okay, what's the first one? He said, you're not getting any younger.
Thank you very
And I
much.
said, that's exactly what I said. I said, thank you very much. Now, what else? He said, the second reason is you will be moving to a town and a community that's 4 times as large, that has more potential for you to show your creative work than where you are. And I said, flatterer will get you everything. What else? He said, this is a clincher. He said, you'll be 30 miles from your mama.
That's it.
That did it.
That did it. Well, on that thought, let's take a short break. Please don't go away. We'll be right back.
In this moment, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance that you do. What matters right now is the quality of your independent insurance agent
Glad you're okay, Sarah. We'll take care of everything.
and the company that stands behind them.
Thanks so much for your help.
No problem.
Auto Owners Insurance.
Curry Method Insurance Agency in Dublin is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Thank you for staying with us. As I mentioned before, I'm sitting here with Miss Willie Paulk, and we're talking about with the friend, Willie Paulk. So you moved, well, the idea of moving was getting closer to your mom.
That's right. When he said that, it really made me think. I was in a great position in Adel. I really was. We had some great projects going on, but I did. I went home and thought about what he had said.
Yes, and again, just like he said, your mother was not getting younger
That's
either.
right. That's right. She lived to be 93.
Yes.
I'm very proud that I did make the decision to come because I was close to her and
Of
could
course.
visit with her all the time. But when I thought about it, my children were in college, so there was no connection
Right.
back to Adel, and so I thought, well, why not?
Why not? Oh,
So
yes.
I put my application in and didn't get the job. I thought, uh-oh.
At that point, you were excited about the job.
That's right. I thought, oh my goodness. But anyway, what had happened was I had chosen a friend of mine who was at that time in Jessup, Georgia. And he had more experience, and that's what I want to tell myself anyway.
That's what we want to believe.
That's right.
Yes.
But at any rate, they offered the job to him, but it didn't work out for either one. So they opened the search committee back up, and that search committee was made up of Jiva Alexander, Reggie Hedrick, who was the plant manager at that time of Rockwell, and Alan Bradley, and then Jimmy Allgood.
Yes.
And then they put two more people on, Wallace Miller and Doyle Dominy. So that was a new search committee. So I came back. They talked me into coming back, runner-up. And so I did, and I came back, and it just clicked. I felt comfortable with them, the board.
They felt comfortable with you?
They felt comfortable with me, and so we decided to give each other a try. And
Goodness.
I'm thankful that we spent almost 25 years.
And almost 25 years later, we are just very happy for you because you're going to be spending more time with your children, grandchildren. And we're missing you already, Miss Willie.
I'm missing you too. I've said that I'll probably do well July, August, September, October, November, and December. Then what happens in January?
What's going to happen in January?
But we'll see.
We'll see,
just
yeah.
take each day. But I've had a blessed time here in this community.
Oh, yes.
You know, they didn't know me. I was
Exactly.
a female. I was divorced, and you know, I probably just didn't fit that block that they were trying to put somebody in.
Right.
But they gave me the opportunity to say, we'll take a chance on you.
Yes.
And I was saying, give me a chance, and let's see
And
what
let
we
me
can
show
do,
you what I can
what
do.
we can do together. So we've been fortunate. We've been
Yes.
blessed. And our reputation, as you well know, is that we're the community that can get things done.
Yes.
We work together.
Yes. Exactly.
We have the same kind of outlook. We don't want any more for a newcomer to come in than we do for our own citizens.
Exactly.
And by taking care of your own citizens first, then they in turn can attract other people to come
Exactly. What was going through your mind that very first day that you got into your office and you said, oh my God, this is my job?
Pilar, I was so excited. I couldn't stand it. I just knew in my mind what my plan was. My first thing was to get out and meet the people.
Yes.
I did not expect them to come to me, but I knew I had to get out
That
and go
you
visit
wanted
them.
to come to them.
And so I hit the road running. One of the nicest things that ever happened to me, though, was there were two local nominations for my position,
Yes.
and both men, and I wanted to meet them because I wanted to gain their friendship and their help.
Yeah, not to
Yeah.
go natty, natty,
That's
dee.
right. So the first one that came to me was Jim Paulk,
Uh-huh.
and he was on my development authority as well.
Yes.
And he welcomed me, and we became very good friends. And the other one was Fane Powell,
Oh, yeah.
and he and I have become really good friends. So I appreciated them.
Well, yeah, and it was so nice of you to do something like that, you know?
Well, I can only imagine if it had been reversed. I
Yes.
could have been one of the locals,
Right.
you know, and I wanted to make sure that they knew that I wanted them to help me.
Yes.
I depended on them because they knew
Uh-huh.
the community I didn't.
Yes, exactly. That was
So-
very nice.
But
Well,
I'm just as excited today, even though I'm not here working, about this community as I was 24 years ago,
yes.
because we have so many great things.
Well, talking about so many great things, I'm sure that with this job you met a lot of great people.
I really did. Started out young, and I guess I wasn't scared. I've had the privilege of working with 6 governors, and when you stop and think about it, that's pretty good, isn't it?
Of
6
course,
governors.
yes. Excellent.
Of course, the U.S. senators and representatives and the state representatives and state senators. CEOs from around the world.
Yes.
Little girl from Tweaks County.
Well, but you see, a very powerful. I was talking with a lot of people recently, and one thing, it was common in every conversation. Whatever Willie Paulk asks you to do, you do it. Now, tell me the secret.
I don't know.
You know, in my case, that worked only for my children.
Well, maybe it's because they really wanted the same thing, and I just
Yeah.
knew that, I've always said my job, and I spoke this today with a friend that we were having lunch, I'm not supposed to be the brightest and the smartest, but I'm supposed to be the one that can find the brightest and the smartest.
And you know
And
how
when
to do that.
When you have a project and you know just a little bit about it, and you know you only have a short time to work it, you figure out what people need to be at the table.
Exactly.
The people who know their
Yes,
business. And
exactly.
we're blessed to have so many good people here.
Yes, oh yes. But you see, that's the good thing that you have. You have the talent to know where to go when you need help. Plus, like you said, the people also want the same thing you want, the best for our community. So you knew where to reach, and they immediately,
Well, and it's great when you do have a relationship, and it's relationships
yes.
that you have formed over the years that you can pick up the phone and tell who you are and them not say, Willie who? Or they can say, yes,
You
Willie.
said you have a very female voice.
They used to say, what do you want now?
Yes, exactly.
But we've been very, very fortunate, very blessed. I left to tell the story about Best Buy.
Yes.
One of the fairy tale stories that we worked, simply because we came from behind. We were never even considered. They had already eliminated so many communities and had 4 families. And they had not even been to see us. And when they finally got here, because there was something that they didn't like in each of the 4 communities, when they decided they would take a look, after I knew from the time they sent me the information that we had the site for them. But they really thought we were too far away from I-75 and I-95. But once they were convinced to come and just check us out, then overnight we became the finalists.
Yes,
And that's when a community really
exactly.
comes together quickly.
Very fast.
And the next morning, one of the men in the group said, how fast could you get this 2-lane road 5-laned? And I said, give me a few minutes.
Let me make a phone call.
I did. I made the phone call to DeBose Porter, who was my state representative. He in turn dialed the Department of Commissioner of Transportation, Wayne Shackelford, which was a good friend of ours.
Yeah.
We told him the project, told him the deadline. He faxed us the confirmation that it would become a 5-lane highway. When I gave it back to the guy, it'd been probably an hour. He said, I cannot believe it. I said, is there anything else you need?
Well, we're going to take another short break. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Locke Wilford. Come to Dublin Chevrolet and find your bonus tag today.
Come to Dublin Chevrolet and get your bonus tag discount. Savings up to $10,000 on new Silverados, new Impalas and Malibus with savings up to $6,000.
Find your tag, find your deal at Dublin Chevrolet, the only dealer you will ever need.
Thank you for watching. I'm here with Miss Willie Paulk. So you have, not really, I mean, connections, but you knew people, family, that you can make a phone call.
That's right.
And things can could be done. Well, yeah, that was just amazing. The way Best Buy came and opened a lot of new jobs and everything, and amazing. And like I said before, there is probably a lot of people that you met through this. Out of all the people that you met and all the things, who was someone that you said, I just cannot believe I met this person?
Well, I guess probably that person might be Tad Yoshida.
Oh, yeah.
Tad Yoshida, and his portraits on
Right.
the wall. His father was the creator of YKK.
Yes.
And this is his son, his only child. When I met him, I think what flashed in my mind was, again, coming from a small rural county like
Yes.
Twiggs County, loving what I did there through school and leadership programs and et cetera, never in my wildest dreams would I have ever thought I would be in a country
Yes.
of Japan
Yes.
having dinner with the guy who owns all of the YKK companies around the world,
Exactly, because it's not just here in Dublin,
all over the world.
all over the
I
world.
was just in awe and so just starstruck, I'm sure.
Yes.
But he has a book that he asks his guests to sign.
Yes.
And I looked at that book and I saw President Carter,
Uh-huh.
President Busby, all these people, and then they put Willie Paulk. I thought, wow.
Well, yes, you are right there with them.
But I'm sure the next person that came along, who is Willie
Who is-
Paulk?
I will not be
And
surprised if they go.
And they envision a man, so I'm sure.
I will not be surprised if they go, oh, she
you
signed
know-
the book.
But you know, he was the kindest, most gracious person in the world. He has always been so kind
Yes.
and gracious to me. He sends me a Christmas card every year.
Every year.
And of course, you know what they've done to this community. They have
Yes.
embraced their company into our community.
Yeah, their culture, they're so giving. They're so nice. When I went to Japan, I had to buy extra luggage because it was like gift after gift.
Exactly.
And I went to, just probably you went to YKK in Japan
Yes,
and did the tour, and it's amazing.
it is. They're so kind and generous.
Yes, and in every single way. Yeah, well, I'm surprised that you chose him. I would have thought, I mean, I don't know. That was,
Well, I think the reason I say that is because I think so many kids today don't really realize the opportunities they have in front of them.
yes.
They may take it for granted, but here's a kid that, you know, I thought if I could get out and go to Atlanta, I'd be in hog heaven.
Yes.
And there I was, way on the other side of the world.
That is just, and you're absolutely right. I mean, it's like, what, a 16-hour flight? I mean, they're exactly on the other side of the
Yeah.
world.
I remember waking up and seeing on the map of the airplane, you know, they have in front of it, and it had a little dot, and it said, "You are here." And I thought, I am over the Pacific Ocean.
Yes.
Oh my God, I hope they have enough gas.
Yes.
I'm thinking, you know, that was 16 hours away.
Yes, I know. I really enjoy visiting Japan. It was just a trip to remember. But I'm not too crazy about flying. And I really don't think, you know, I mean, I'm going to go back.
Right. Like you, I'm so appreciative
Yes.
of the gift, and it was a gift.
Yes.
He invited Bob and Jackie Walker,
Right.
Ed Touchbeer, and myself to go. And
Yes.
as you well know, being a part of the International Committee, they began the Sister City
Exactly.
relationship. And so he invited us to be his guests for 2 weeks. Guests for 2 weeks.
Yes. Isn't that,
It was just phenomenal.
like I said, they're so giving. Well, unfortunately, time always go real fast when you're having fun.
Right.
And I have enjoyed every single second talking to you.
Thank you, I have too.
But I have a lot more questions.
Okay.
So we're going to have to do a second interview.
Okay.
So all of you out there, this is not the end. just keep watching because we're going to have part 2 of this wonderful interview with Miss Willie Paulk. Thank you so much for spending time with me.
Thank you.
And all of you, thank you so much for watching, and until next time.